This is a race that has been months in the making, some would argue years, and after weeks of feverish campaigning, we can now say that the end is in sight. In a race that at times has produced heated political arguments, the end could perhaps not come soon enough.
The polls would suggest an even split nationally. No candidate with a clear upper hand heading into today's decider. But both candidates are fighting for each last undecided vote, even though it's likely most minds have already been made up. The challenger believes America has lost her way.
If there's anyone worried that the last 4 years are the best we can do, if there's anyone who fears that the American dream is fading away, if there's anyone who wonders whether better jobs and better paychecks are simply things of the past, I have a clear and unequivocal message. With the right leadership, America is going to come roaring back.
The incumbent believes the challenges have been tough, but the course he's set is the right one.
I may be full of gray hair now, but I'm just as determined as I was 4 years ago. I'm not tired and I'm not weary. And I hope you are not either. We know what change looks like and what Governor Romney's selling, ain't it? Giving more power to the biggest banks isn't change. Another $5 trillion tax cut for the wealthy, that's not change.
This political analyst believes the election will be decided by which campaign has the better ground game in the swing states.
If you, in South Africa, for example, if you know that there is a base, that people vote for a particular party, I mean, and we know we have a short history of elections, but people are tied to a certain kind of political party. The American electorate in some parts of the country are not organized in that way. In other words, they are what people call independent voters. So they are subject to swings. If a candidate is good on, say, social policy or economic policy, they might go with that candidate. So in those instances, you have to really work hard to get people to vote for you.
Jacobs believes every vote will be crucial in this election.
You set up phone banks. Phone banks are like rooms filled with people making phone calls. You have volunteers who come from out of state, meaning from New York. People go down to Pennsylvania, from Chicago. They'll go to Ohio, and they go from door to door to get people, to convince people to vote for their candidate.
In the battleground state of Ohio, the president leads Romney 50 to 48%, within the poll's margin of error. In Florida, another poll finds Obama leading 49 to 47%, again within the statistical margin of error. Other polls have Romney up in the state. The same story in other swing states.
If they go in the direction of Obama, as they seem to be at this period of time, that may lead to a much quicker, resolution of the election. I will say, though, I don't think there'll be any question that there'll be challenges to whatever the outcome of this election is. And apparently it's already been recorded that there are lawyers on both sides that are lining up ahead of time. So this may not be a contested election the way the Bush-Gore one was, but I think there is going to be a lot of legal mumbo-jumbo that's going to take place after this election.
But for now, the electorate is left with a political mumbo-jumbo as the swing state blitz by both candidates tries to eke out a victory, one that seems less secure than it did 4 years ago for President Obama.
I'm not saying that these legal challenges may have any traction whatsoever. I just think there's going to be an awful lot of noise. After all, we've had 4 years of claims that the president is illegitimate in a number of ways. So why would they, if they couldn't accept the first election, why would they accept the re-election?
And then the question of history and how it will judge him.
It will undermine his legacy if he loses this election. He's the first president of African descent, and we know he's faced, bombardment of distortions, etc. around that. No incumbent, having set the agenda, would want to be out of power, and you would see him as a failed president. Presidents want to serve 2 terms because in your first term you want to set a number of policies, and in the case of Obama, he's done that. Healthcare policy, don't ask, don't tell with the military. Issues around getting more money for students in colleges, reforming the financial system. So if the Republicans come in, Romney comes in, he has a totally different set of ideas around those particular issues.
Game on until the last vote is cast and counted.
The polls open at 6 a.m. on the East Coast. That's around 1 o'clock in the afternoon South African time. They close at 9 p.m. So hopefully before the day is over, we'll have a result for you just as Morning Live goes to air on Wednesday morning. Vuyo.